Let's go across now to our executive editor Sanjay Pinto, who explains these developments.
Well, it certainly wasn't the DMK's cup of tea, Anu. And if Mr. Raja, the communications minister, was on stage with Sonia Gandhi and Jayalalitha was there, among the audience there, exchanging pleasantries or smiling at Sonia Gandhi, then that was perhaps like a call wait for Mr. Raja and for the DMK. But that said, this whole idea of exchanging pleasantries, the claim, should be seen in its right context. In the political culture in Delhi, it's customary for people, for the bitterest of opponents to actually exchange pleasantries. It happens in Parliament. Sonia Gandhi, in fact, wishes L.K. Advani when she meets him in Parliament. So there's nothing new about this. It's only in Tamil Nadu that you have the J and K crossfire, literally, where there's this deep animosity. They don't attend functions together. So therefore, when something like this happens out of Tamil Nadu in Delhi, eyebrows are raised. Now, is it likely to happen at all? For all you know, it could be a trial balloon floated by the Jayalalitha camp. But we must understand, Anu, that Tamil Nadu is a place for revolving door politics. Politics makes strange bedfellows, particularly here in Tamil Nadu. You're talking about smiles and perhaps mystic smiles, but then there are also Judas kisses, there are also Aurangzeb embraces, all kinds of things happen in Tamil Nadu. If Vaiko, who was imprisoned by Jayalalitha for all those months under Pota, could join hands with her, well, anything can happen. Ramdas of the PMK has been a traditional fence sitter. He has been in and out of various alliances. Swapping partners is the order of the day. That's the norm rather than the exception in Tamil Nadu's political landscape. So anything could happen. But which brings us to the next question. Why would the Congress dump the DMK? Why would they upset the apple cart at this stage? The DMK has been a fairly reliable ally. We know that Ms. Jayalalitha has in the past, rocked the boat with regard to the BJP government in the past. The DMK has delivered. They won 40 out of 40 seats in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry the last time around. This time, of course, didn't do as well, but still managed to romp home with a significant share of the electoral pie. So why would the Congress dump the DMK? Anti-incumbency, yes, to some extent, but then the DMK has also introduced a slew of welfare schemes in the run-up to 2011. The only sore point which the Congress, in fact, it's a fragmented Congress here in Tamil Nadu, people not speaking in one voice, they've been clamoring for power sharing. Perhaps this could be used by the Congress to indulge in some sort of saber rattling ahead of the 2011 assembly polls. Maybe they could demand more seats, perhaps 100 seats. The DMK then may be forced onto the back foot, because we do know, I know that the DMK survives with the Congress support in the assembly. Politics in Tamil Nadu, electoral victory, all hinges on the strength of alliances. If Jayalalitha manages to cobble together a formidable alliance like the DMK did the last time around, that so-called Rainbow Coalition, with the PMK on her side, or she already has the MDMK, also manages to woo Vijay, then maybe the Congress could consider this. But as of now, I think we shouldn't read too much into that.
That was Sanjay Pinto, our executive editor, summing up the developments. Moving on, the national flag was hoisted on the marina. Parades, awards, ceremonies and cultural shows were held to mark the 60th Republic Day celebrations in Chennai. But the spotlight was clearly on the transgender community.
The Social Welfare Department highlighted transgenders, sending a strong message that they too are a part of the society. The spotlight was on the formation of the Aravanigal Welfare Board. The Welfare Board helps them to avail ID cards, free land pattas, financial assistance for higher education, self-employment and learn self-defense skills.
அது அவங்க நமக்கே தெரியும் அவங்க என்ன மாதிரியான லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் வச்சிருந்தாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு இப்போ அதுல இருந்து அவங்கள பிரிச்சு கொண்டு போய் நீங்க சொசைட்டியோட ஒண்ணா கலக்க வைக்கிறது. இப்போ மற்ற எல்லாரும் என்ன வேலை பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்களோ மற்ற எல்லாரும் என்ன மாதிரி தொழில் செஞ்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க படிச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க சொசைட்டியோட மிங்கிள் ஆகிறதுக்கான ஒரு வேலையை தான் அரசு செஞ்சிருக்கு.
State Governor Surjit Singh Barnala hoisted the national flag to mark the start of the celebrations. He was joined by State Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi. Helicopters of the Indian Coast Guard showered petals and a ceremonial march past was held. The armed forces, the Army, the Navy and the Air Force displayed their armour and prowess. And Tamil Nadu's special commandos, the city police, also marched along the marina. Medals for gallantry, awards for promoting communal harmony and medals for police for their exemplary service were handed down. School children and college students presented cultural shows. In Chennai, with Salim, J. Santosh, NDTV Hindu.
be used. And
The Republic Day parade in New Delhi took place with a lot of grandeur at the Rajpath. President of India Pratibha Patil took the salute as the defence forces marched past, showcasing their might. President of the Republic of Korea Lee Myung-bak was the chief guest. Over 15,000 security personnel maintained tight vigil along the 8-kilometer-long parade route between Vijay Chowk and the Red Fort.
Second in command, Colonel Jasram Singh, retired.
But as the nation marks its 60th Republic Day, many of its citizens still live in homes without electricity and basic facilities.
A hill village in Salem district, Sembuthamalai sits between Attur and Rasipuram. It almost lacks every basic requirement. There is no electricity, no ration shop, not even a simple state-run clinic. There is just one school in the village, but students don't attend because there is no road. And those who do attend drop out because the school does not have power supply.
கிலோமீட்டர் நடக்கணுங்க அதனால என் பிள்ளைங்க நடக்க முடியாது கரெக்ட் பகுதியில் நடக்க முடியல பயந்துக்கறாங்க சனங்க நாங்களே பயந்துட்டு போறதில்ல அதனால போயிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருக்கிறதுனால போக முடியலன்ட்டு வயசு பிள்ளைங்க நடக்க முடியாம அஞ்சாவது வரை நிறுத்திடுறோம் வேறலாம் அந்த பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு எதுவுமே வாழ்க்கை செய்ய முடியல எங்களால ஒண்டியா காட்டுல போய் வந்து சேர முடியல.
The villagers here depend on daily wages. They need to trek nearly 6 kilometers to collect their daily ration. The terrain in and around the village is rugged and difficult to transport the elderly, pregnant women and sick people. The people of Sembuthamalai have lost hope that the politicians they voted to power will ever do anything to improve their lives.
பொம்பளைங்களுக்கு குழந்தை பிறகு டைம் ஆனால் அதை ஒன்றும் முடியலன்னா தொட்டை கட்டி அப்படியே இந்தாண்டவராக இருந்தாலும் கொம்பு போட்டு தான் தூக்கிட்டு போகணும். உடம்பு சரியில்லைனாலும் அப்படி தான் தீராத ஆளுங்களுக்கு. இப்போ எங்களாலும் அப்படி இருந்தால் அப்படி தான் தூக்கிட்டு போயாகணும்.
வந்து ஓட்டு கேட்க வருவாங்க வந்தாங்களான்னா எல்லாம் அதை செஞ்சு தரேன் இதை செஞ்சு தரேன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க மறுபடியும் அதெல்லாம் ஓட்டு வாங்கிட்டு எதுவுமே செய்ய மாட்டாங்க எங்களுக்கு எந்த வசதியுமே இல்லை.
ஒன்று விட்டா கரண்ட் விட்டுட்டோம் ரோடு போட்டுட்டோம் இல்லையா எங்களுக்கு இந்த நிலத்தை அவங்க கவர்மெண்ட் வச்சுக்கிட்டு எங்களுக்கு கீழே விட்டுட்டோம்.
Everyday life for these villagers begin with the sunrise and their activities come to a halt as the sun sets. With Lalit Joor, Ramanathan, NDTV Hindu.
Well, certainly not a story of national pride, that one. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.